It is logical for you to think good, since only good can follow. It is illogical for you to think evil and to expect good, as seeds or thoughts grow after their kind. This is a mental and spiritual universe, and the mental law is always supreme. Logical decisions are always based upon that infinite wisdom which guides the planets in their course and causes the sun to shine. A saleslady in one of the department stores in Los Angeles was interested in the stock market for many years and had become a very successful investor. This young woman took a required course at night, which qualified her for employment in a brokerage house. She had numerous interviews, but was unable to get employment because, as she said, of her sex. She said to me, "They just don't want women." I suggested that she come to a decision and affirm boldly, "I am now employed in a brokerage firm with a marvelous income consistent with integrity and justice." I explained to her that the minute she came to a decision in her mind and persisted in that decision, her subconscious mind would respond and open up the way by revealing the perfect plan for fulfillment of her ideal. I instructed her also to follow the lead which would come to her conscious reasoning mind. It's impossible to miss it. The sequel, of course, is interesting. A strong urge came to her to advertise in the local newspaper, offering to work free for 2 months and pointing out that she had a large circle of friends as potential customers. She had immediate offers from 3 firms, one of which she accepted. This shows that you must have faith in your ability to decide. And when you come to a clear-cut decision, backed by faith in the powers of your subconscious mind, wonders will happen in your life, and you will banish all frustration. People who fear to make decisions, or who are afraid to make choices, are actually refusing to recognize their own divinity, for the infinite indwells all men. It is your divine and cosmic right to choose and to make decisions. You can decide to be healthy, happy, prosperous, and successful because you have dominion over your world. Your subconscious mind is subject to the decrees of your conscious mind, and whatever you decree shall come to pass. The Bible says, "Whatsoever a man soweth in his subconscious mind, so also shall he reap." He shall reap it on the screen of space, as form, as function, as experience, and events. The law of your subconscious mind plays no favorites, no more so than any other law of nature. It is illogical to put your hand on a hot stove. If you do, you suffer the consequences. To jump off the roof of a high building is illogical, as the law of gravitation is impersonal and not vindictive in any way. It is illogical to believe that 2 and 2 make 5. It is foolish to go against the laws of nature, the immutable rules of the universe, the way things are. It's illogical to steal, because you're impoverishing yourself. You're attracting lack and limitation to yourself and building more misery in your life. Man once said to me, "I don't know what to do, or what is reasonable or logical, and I won't make a decision." I explained to him that he had made a decision. He had decided not to decide. Now, isn't that a very foolish decision? Isn't that illogical, unreasonable, unscientific? Of course it is. He had decided not to decide, which meant that he had decided to take what comes from the mass mind or the law of averages, in which we are all immersed. And it is very negative mind. Also, if he decided not to decide, the random mind would decide for him, inasmuch as he refused to govern his own mind. If you refuse to make a decision, Are you going to let circumstances and conditions make a decision for you, your mother-in-law, your father-in-law? Or who is going to make a decision for you? If you don't think for yourself, someone else, and perhaps the thought of someone else is thinking in you, or perhaps the mass mind is thinking in you. Because if you don't choose your own thoughts, the mass mind, or the law of averages, chooses your thoughts for you. If there's any fear or worry or anxiety in your thinking, you are not thinking at all. It's the mass mind, or the law of averages, or the race mind thinking in you. Because true thinking is free from fear, free from anxiety. You're like an engineer. You're thinking from the standpoint of principles, eternal verities, eternal truths. Your thoughts are constructive. You're a straight line thinker. So this man began to perceive that it was foolish for him not to do his own thinking, reasoning, and deducing, thereby permitting the law of averages, or the mass thinking of the race, to make decisions for him. It's very negative. The mass mind is full of fear, full of hate, jealousy, envy. There's some good in it. Most of it is highly negative. They believe in tragedies, misfortunes of all kinds. Now, surely to heavens, if you don't do your own thinking, someone else is going to do your thinking for you, and it's not going to be very good. If you don't choose your own emotions, who's going to choose it for you? So this man reversed his attitude and asserted positively, I believe in my power, my ability, and the integrity of my own mental and spiritual processes. And I asked myself, if I were God, what decision would I make? I know my motive is right, and my desire is to do the right thing. All my decisions are based upon the fact that infinite wisdom is making all decisions through me, and therefore it must be right action. Following this prayer, this man has made all business, professional, and family decisions, and he is leading a glorious and wonderful life. He has better health, increased efficiency, more love, more understanding, and prosperity along all lines. The infinite power backs up all your decisions. You are a self-conscious individual. You have the capacity to decide. It is wrong to let others decide for you, or to say, I will let God decide for me. When you say that, you mean a God outside yourself, a man up in the sky somewhere. The only way God or infinite intelligence will work for you is through you, through your own thought, your own imagery, your own decision. The God presence has done everything for you. It has created you and the universe. It gave you a conscious and subconscious mind. It gave you itself. Because the infinite or supreme intelligence, which is the presence of God, is within your subconscious depths. And you're here to use it. And you contact it through the medium of your own thought. So the infinite intelligence will work for you. It will work through you, through your own thought. In order for the universal to act on the individual plane, it must become the individual. As Judge Strord in his inimitable textbooks points out, that the universal will do nothing for you except through the particular. So it must become the particular in order to act. You are here to choose. You have volition and initiative. This is why you are an individual. Accept your divinity now and your responsibility and make decisions for yourself. The other does not know best. When you refuse to make decisions for yourself, you're actually rejecting your divinity, and you are thinking from the standpoint of weakness and inferiority, just like a slave and an underling. Acknowledge your divinity. You're a choosing volitional being. You're here to choose. Choose ye this day whom you will serve. Choose that whatsoever things are true, whatsoever things are lovely, whatsoever things are just, and whatsoever things are pure, and whatsoever things are honest, and of good report. Choose on these thoughts. Choose these thoughts. Decide to enthrone these thoughts in your mind, and stick to that decision. A confirmed alcoholic told me that a man once pointed a gun at his temple and told him he would shoot him through the head if he drank the whiskey in front of him. And he said, I had to drink it. I couldn't stop. It was a compulsive act. I didn't care whether or not he shot me. Yes, that showed you he had tremendous power. All the power of the infinite was behind that decision, you know. There's only one power. This is to point out to you that all the power of the infinite was behind that decision. He actually experienced according to his decision. He subsequently reversed this decision, and at my suggestion he declared solemnly for about 10 minutes, "I have come to a definite conclusion in my mind, and my decision is that I am free from this curse of alcoholism. Through the infinite power which backs up this decision, I am completely free. I have peace of mind and sobriety, and I give thanks to the infinite now." This man has not touched any intoxicating beverages in over 5 years and is completely free of the habit. He's a new man. Be transformed by the renewal of your mind, that ye may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of God. Man shall decree a thing, shall come to pass, and the light shall shine upon him. But he came to a decision, and he meant it. The power was not in the bottle, the power was within him. And therefore all the power of the infinite is behind your decision. Therefore, choose ye this day whom you will serve. God is infinite, and infinity cannot be divided or multiplied. The Bible says, "I form the light, I create darkness, I make peace, and I create evil. I, the Lord, do all these things." The Bible quotation dramatizes and portrays lucidly there's but one power which you can use to give you light, which means that when called upon consciously by you, infinite intelligence will cast light on any problem. All that's required is that you come to a clear-cut decision in your mind. You create darkness when you say, "I'm stymied, I'm blocked, there's no way out." That's a foolish decision. The infinite knows the way. It only knows the answer. By your conscious decree saying there's no way out, "I'm stymied, it's hopeless," that's your decision. It's a wrong one. It's illogical, unreasonable, unscientific. It's foolish. By your conscious decree, when you have adopted this mental attitude, you are saying infinite intelligence does not know the way out. And according to your decision, you live in the darkness and confusion created by your ignorance or misuse of the law, or failure to come to the right decision. You create peace by dwelling mentally in whatsoever things are true, lovely, noble, and godlike. You create evil in your experience by thinking negatively, viciously, and destructively. In other words, ask yourself this question: how am I using this power? What kind of a decision have I arrived at? Decide that you're going to use the power constructively, harmoniously, and according to its nature, you will then call it God in action. When you use it destructively, negatively, and contrary to its nature, men call it Satan, the devil, misery and suffering and pain and aches and so forth. There is a wonderful power within you. Learn how to use it. Last year I interviewed a man who had gone bankrupt a short time previously. He had developed ulcers and high blood pressure, and was, as he said, in a mess. He believed there was a curse following him, that God was punishing him for his past sins, that God had it in for him, and that he was now reaping his just deserts. All these were false beliefs in his mind. I explained to him just as long as he believed there was a jinx following him, he would suffer, for the simple reason that man's beliefs take form as experiences, conditions, and events. I told him he had to come to a clear-cut decision, a definite decision in his mind, that there was only one power, and that power was moving as unity, as harmony, as peace, as love, and the tendency of that life is to heal and to restore. Therefore, he affirmed, came to this decision: there is but one Creator, one Presence, one power. This power is within me as my mind and spirit. This presence moves through me as harmony, health, and peace. I think, speak, and act from the standpoint of infinite intelligence. I know that thoughts are things. What I feel I attract, what I imagine I become. I constantly dwell on these truths. I have come to a clear-cut decision that divine right action governs my life. Divine law and order reign supreme and operate in all phases of my life. Divine guidance is mine. Divine success is mine. Divine prosperity is mine. Divine love fills my soul. Divine wisdom governs all my transactions. Whenever fear or worry come into my mind, I affirm immediately, God is guiding me now, or God knows the answer. I make a habit of this, and I know that miracles are happening in my life. He prayed out loud in this manner 5 or 6 times daily. At the end of a month, his health was restored, and he was taken in as a partner in a growing concern. His whole life had been transformed. He came to a decision. There was only one power, that power moving as unity, as harmony, as health and peace. There are no divisions or quarrels in that power. Nothing to oppose it, thwart it, vitiate it, or interfere with it. The new idea, the new decision, arrived at in his mind, became his master, and compelled him to express the riches of life. Ideas are our masters. According to our decision is it done unto us. Enthrone in your mind the divine ideas, and watch that wonders that happen as you pray. There's a wonderful power within you. Begin to use it now. It's the almighty power. It's the one alone who lives in the hearts of all men. The Bible says, let your words be yea, yea, and no, no. Anything more than this is evil. Say yes. Come to a decision. Say yes to all ideas and truths which heal, bless, inspire, elevate, and dignify your soul. Say no, definitely, positively, and absolutely, to all negative thoughts, to anything that would instill fear into your mind, that would drag you down, that would create doubt in your mind. Reject all these suggestions as unfit for the house of God. These 2 words, come to a decision about them. Say yes to health, to happiness, to peace, to the abundant life. Say no to sickness, to misery and suffering and lack. Reject these ideas. Reject any suggestion or any thought that does not fill your soul with joy. Reject any suggestion that does not give you more confidence and more faith in yourself. Don't put off tomorrow what you can do today is the old saying, an old maxim, an old aphorism. Procrastination is the thief of time. Yes, if you're putting it off and you're wondering what I shall do and when I'm going to decide, maybe next week, and you'll become misery, you'll become neurotic, frustrated, unhappy. You're placing yourself in bondage. If your motivation is good, if it looks good to you, come to a decision. It's far better to do something right now than do nothing. For as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. Your heart is your subconscious mind, the seat of your emotions and feelings. Therefore, whatever thought or image you have in your mind now, your feeling nature, that's the spirit within you, begins to flow through that matrix or mold. So your thought and feeling create your destiny. Your thought and feeling create everything in your life. Mold and fashion your destiny. Whatever you think and feel to be true comes to pass. Come to a decision now. A man said to me that he was offered 2 positions. They both looked good to him. And the man was going to call him up at 2 o'clock and he wanted an answer. He said, I have no particular feeling about either one of them. They both look good. They're about the same. I said, when the man calls at 2 o'clock and your motives are good, you have no ulterior motives, it looks good to you, pronounce it good, and whatever you say to him, the first thought that comes to you when he calls up, just whatever you say, yes or no, will be right. So he said yes. And I said, when your motivation is right and thing looks good to you, what on earth are you afraid of? There's a principle of right action, there's no principle of wrong action. And therefore you pronounce it good. And it turned out to be good, you pronounce it good. In Tokyo a few years ago, I talked to a man in the hotel. He was 90 years of age, he was on crutches, and he was an American. We talked for quite a while, and he said, when I was 60 years of age, I wanted to go around the world. He said, I want to take my wife on a trip around the world. And he said, I postponed it. I said, I'll wait until my daughter grows up or get married. And he said, now I'm crippled with arthritis and I can't take a trip around the world. He postponed it. He didn't give himself or his wife the joy of that trip. He refused to come to a decision. He postponed it later on until his daughter grew up and got married, all of which is nonsense, for your good is right now. You don't wait for anything. You take it now, because the trip around the world has nothing to do with your daughter getting married or remaining single. Nothing at all to do with it. It has to do with you. Make up your mind. Come to a clear-cut decision. And if your motivation is right, that decision is right, it's got an action right now. Make up your mind now. Or do you want your relatives to make up your mind, to make a decision for you? Are conditions going to force you, or circumstances? Pray and claim that an infinite intelligence is guiding you now. Accept a guiding principle within you. Claim right action. There's a principle of guidance within you. It's just the same as if it were not there, except you use it. And the first intuitive impulse that comes to you is usually the right answer. You're told in the Bible that Peter went down to the lake. He cast a line, and he was told, take up the first fish up, look in the mouth, and take the coin. Pay the tax for thee and for me. What does it mean? I am the great fish that swimmeth in the deep. That's your subconscious mind, where all fish or ideas are. That's where the scientist gets his answer, the archaeologist, the paleontologist, the physician. The answer comes out of the depths. You fish an answer out for anything you want in life. And therefore that pays your tax, doesn't it? The engineer is taxed for patience. He's taxed for his knowledge of engineering. The chemist is taxed. The doctor is taxed if he has a 6-hour operation. His ingenuity, his skill, his knowledge, his faith, his confidence. You're taxed for your love at times too, aren't you? And therefore you have to come to a decision. You're taxed, and when you come to a decision, you paid your tax. You paid your tax. And then you do away with frustration and confusion and anger and misery. Say, take the first fish up, you see, and open the mouth, and the coin is there. Well, of course, you don't take that literally, but it's a marvelous way of realizing an answer to your prayer. When you pray for guidance and you want to make a decision, you say, infinite intelligence is guiding me. There's right action in my life. There's an overshadowing presence in which I live and move and have my being. It opens up the door for me. I follow the lead which comes to me clearly. I turn it over now to the deeper mind, and I go on about my business. Then the first thought that comes to you, the first idea, the first thing that wells up within you, that's your answer. It comes out of the depths of yourself. It's the first fish up. You don't argue with it. Don't talk to your relatives about it. If you do, you'll have 20 thoughts all of a sudden in your mind. It's that inner sense of touch, that inner silent knowing of the soul. So it's the first fish up. Sometimes when you go to sleep at night, try this. Say, infinite intelligence reveals to me the answer, reveals the right decision for me. When I awaken, the first thought I have in the morning will be the answer. Then what's the first thought you have in the morning? But don't go around pacing the floor and wondering about it. The answer will come to you. You're claiming divine law and order in your life. Claim divine right action in your life. Divine law and order means that the law of harmony, beauty, love, peace, abundance are operating in your subconscious rather than man-made laws, rather than creeds and dogmas and tradition. It also means that you're expressing yourself at your highest level. You're releasing your hidden talents in a wonderful way, consistent with integrity and honesty. It also means that you're receiving marvelous and wonderful compensation. Because if you don't have all the money you need to do when you want all the money you need when you want to use it, it should be there. It should be available. It should be in circulation. When you're able to do what you want to do when you want to do it, you're as rich as Croesus. That's divine law and order. Certainly, if you can't buy your wife a new car if she needs one, that's not divine law and order. There's something frightfully wrong. So you believe in right action. There's a principle of right action. There's no principle of wrong action. So when you hear a person saying, well, maybe I'll do something wrong, why don't you turn around and believe there's a principle of right action, like the wheels in your automobile have to be around. If they're not around, you'll kill yourself. That's right action. Claim that you're under the shadow of the Almighty. I will say of the Lord, He's my refuge, my fortress, my God, in Him will I trust. Isn't that a wonderful prayer for guidance and right action, your 91st Psalm? I dwell in the secret place. That's your own mind where you walk and talk with God. I abide in the shadow of the Almighty. I'll say of the Lord, the lordly power. He's my refuge, my fortress, my God, in Him will I trust. He covers me with his feathers, and under his wings shall you rest. Why then should you worry or be fearful about doing the right thing? No, you're under a guiding principle. And the angels, you're told, will watch over you. Angels are the intelligence and the wisdom, the creative ideas that well up within you. So you're guided to your true place. You're guided to do the right thing, for the highest and the best begins to move through you. Put God first in your life, and God is the supreme intelligence which started your heartbeat. It governs all the vital organs. It watches over you. It tendencies to heal and to restore. Choose ye this day whom you will serve. Choose harmony. Choose right action. And choose beauty. Choose abundance and security in your life. Choose these things, because the higher self is God, and that almighty power will move in your behalf, but you must turn to it. Call upon me, and I will answer you. Decide with your mind, not with your emotions. Here's a man got mad at the boss, you know. Oh, yes, he's full of bitterness, hostility, so he says he told the boss off, and he quit in a huff. He took another job, and he said to me, I have more problems in this job than I had in the previous job. You see, he made a decision on the basis of anger, resentment, hostility, his emotions. He was carried away by his emotions. No, you make decisions based upon true judgment, based upon wisdom and understanding. Reason the thing out. Study the pros and cons, and be rational and reasonable. So he realized his decision was wrong. And make a decision on the basis of factual rationality. Reason the thing out. Does it seem reasonable, logical to you? Assemble the facts together, get all the data you can, and try and solve it objectively, which is what you should do. Use no mental coercion, no force. Don't grit your teeth and clench your fist. Don't say I must get an answer at a certain time, or the judge must give me a decision on the 15th of April. That's nonsense. Do everything you can objectively, quietly, and with faith and with confidence. If no clear answer is indicated, well, you feel good about it, and the situation looks good to you, the investment or whatever it is, go ahead and do it. Always remember, if your motivation is right, and you're praying for guidance and right action, and something looks good to you, go ahead. Say, is God in action? Pronounce it good. Why should you hesitate? Why should you vacillate and waver? Why become a neurotic? Why become frustrated? Come to a decision. Come to a decision quickly. The clear impression that comes to you when someone calls you on the phone and says, I must have an answer now, I'm on the phone. And you have been praying about it and thinking about it, whatever you say will be right. Empty out all preconceived notions. A man said to me one time, do you think I've arrived at the right decision? Well, I said to him, is it based upon the golden rule and the law of love? And then he got red in the face. Well, I said, you answered your own question. If your decision is to take advantage of someone, pull the wool over somebody's eyes, or cheat him, or so forth, whatever decision you'd arrive in such a case would be wrong. Because to hurt the other is to hurt yourself. So is your decision based upon the golden rule and the law of love. Love is wishing for everyone what you wish for yourself. When you love another, you love to see the other become and express all they long to become and express. There are women, I talk to women 40 and 50 years of age, mother made all decisions for them. When you allow that, you're robbing yourself of your own initiative, your own experience, your own divinity, because the God presence is within you. I said ye are gods, and all of you are sons of the Most High. So you're here to choose, to come to a decision, to mold and fashion your own destiny. Learn to make decisions. Start now. After you're 7 or 8 years of age, you should begin to learn to make decisions to some degree, with supervision, of course. But when you're 18 years of age, you should certainly make your own decisions and move out of home and establish your own apartment, roll up your sleeves and get busy. Learn to make decisions, yes, and exercise your initiative. And one man said, when I'm confused and mixed up a little bit, he said, and I'm sincere and I prayed about it, and sometimes I flip a coin. But he said, I know that any kind of action is better than inaction, so I come to a decision. If you're going on the road to San Francisco and you're on the wrong road, and some man stops you and he said, turn to the right, that's the right road. You found out you were wrong. Now you're right, aren't you? You're on the right road. So what? You made a mistake. Everybody makes mistakes. When you went to school, didn't you make hundreds of them? That's why you had a rubber on the end of your pencil, you know. Everybody, including mother and father, knew you'd make mistakes. So as you continue to make decisions, you have a new zest and a new thrill. Things are not in the saddle. Circumstances can't create circumstances. Conditions are not creative. There are no powers outside you. You don't give power to a created thing. You do not give power to the phenomenalistic world. You give power to the Creator, and that's the supreme intelligence within you. Avoid indecisiveness, which attends much religious prayer. People say, is it right for me to pray for wealth? How absurd, how ridiculous. Is it right for me to pray for success? Maybe God doesn't want me to succeed. That is stupidity. It is jungle philosophy. It is too stupid for words. Does God want me to sing? Well, if God gave you a voice, He wants you to sing. The singing capacity is within you. If you're able to sing and that quality is within you, go ahead and sing. You don't wait for God to sing. God will sing through you. But God is the only presence and power. You have the desire to paint, go ahead and paint. If you love animals and all that, or if you'd love to be a chemist or something, or a musician, go ahead and follow the lead which comes to you. People say, is it right that I should pray for a car? What is a car? An idea in the mind of God, that's all a car is. It's the Spirit of God made manifest. It's God outside your door taking the form of a car. For there's only God, there's nothing else but God. God is Spirit, and the grass is God too. The clothes you wear is God. God and goods are synonymous. You go into a store and you say goods. Well, what are you talking about? God and good are the same. And the goods are Spirit made manifest. The apple on a tree is Spirit made manifest. There's only Spirit. Everything is made inside and out of it. The material world is Spirit made manifest. So everything you touch is the Spirit made manifest. Such questions as, is it right for me and all that? Is it right, you might as well say, is it right for me to get married? How absurd these things are. They're based on superstition, ignorance, and fear. Such questions as these rob the mind of decision and force. If you pray for guidance, a higher form of prayer, you will overcome your theological concepts, because your higher self will teach you as you go along. The Spirit of truth will lead you to all truth. You say, God is guiding me now. Right action reigns supreme. The Spirit of truth leads me to all truth. You've come to a marvelous decision. Be definite. Have goals. Announce purposes. Your receipts will be offset by your liabilities, as in all business. Your prayers answer to the level of your belief. Your consciousness is what you know consciously and subconsciously. If you pray for prosperity, success, achievement, and victory, and you say, come to a decision, say, prosperity is mine now. I'm going to be wealthy. I'm going to have all the wealth I need to do what I want to do when I want to do it. Your subconscious will respond. And also the answer will be filtered through your present state of mind. Raise your sights, and you'll go where your vision is. You know, a merchant in the Far East, they do that, Egypt and other places. They set the price very high. The tourist comes in, he's supposed to bargain. They'll come down, you know, there'll be several markdowns. They'll still make a profit. Well, now, negative beliefs in your mind, if you're praying for prosperity and success and achievement, and you're jealous of others, or their promotion, or the 6 cars he has in the garage, or the $1 million that he has, then that negation, that resentment, that envy, that jealousy blocks your good and inhibits your growth, and, of course, interferes with your prosperity. It's like Frederick the Great, you know. He collected a lot of money, at least his agents did, and he said, what happens to all the money we collect? So it was a hot day, and his members of his cabinet were around the table. There was a bowl of ice there and some water with some ice in it. One man took up a little piece of the ice and passed it around men's hands. When it got to the king, it was a very small piece. He said, "That, sire, is the answer." All right. So if you are down on yourself, or you're jealous or envious of others, you are inhibiting the flow of that infinite ocean of riches through you. And therefore wish for everyone what you wish for yourself. For love is the fulfilling of the law. And love is goodwill, wishing for everything what you wish for yourself. Negatives of the mind, regrets, remorse, hate, peeves, grudges, looking to externals, giving power to people and conditions and circumstances. They all cut down on the riches of the infinite. Give all your allegiance and devotion. Let your expectation be from him who giveth to all life, breath, and all things. Get it straight. Come to that decision. Look to the source. Then, as you do that, come to the decision. So from the depths of my heart, I wish for every person in the world the riches of the infinite, health and happiness and peace and all the blessings of life. Then watch the flow of vitality and riches to you.